Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Alright, so here's the thing. Before we talk about the Powder of Hope stuff, just want to have a quick reminder, right, gentle reminder to those of you guys who are not aware, or if you don't follow the news, as you can see right here, boom, we got the Brown Dust 2 collaboration coming really soon. Now so far they've released two images or two pictures rather of the collaboration. One is going to be this particular one right here. One more is going to be this one right here that they released recently, right? I think like earlier today. You can see new collaboration coming soon. Now there's a little bit of hint going on right now. If you can't find it, it's basically the glowing red eyes right here at this particular area, and then one more is going to be this particular glowing red eyes. Now a lot of people have speculated that it is going to be Goblin Slayer. Now again, this is not confirmed, not by the official sources at least, so we'll have to wait and see, but the news is going to come very soon. As you can see, they have announced right here, you are going to be able to tune in live and see what the developers have to say. They are going to be doing this right there, and make sure you guys turn on notifications as well. I'll be doing the stream as well, April 30th, collaboration IP for Brown Dust 2. So if you guys haven't already, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv, GuitarRock69. Alright, I'll be streaming it live when that happens. So we're going to look at what that's going to be all about. So with that, let's talk about the current season or the current Powder of Hope, right? Because I know this is going to be quite interesting. If you look at the Powder of Hope right now, there are 4 characters right here. As you can see, I've already maxed most of these characters. So if anyone will be able to give you a proper advice between all of these characters. Now, even though my Queen of Signatures Michaela is not yet +5, I intend to get her up there, right? You know, I'm probably going to be the best person to be able to give you the proper you know, like review of these characters based on how I use them, right? Now here's the thing, right? The Curselia, this is a very good costume, but in most cases when you get her up to +5, you only need to get her up to +3 preferably, get the SP down. Now going on to +4 and +5 is just going to increase the magic damage that she does. So in terms of this particular costume, for the Curselia in particular, if you don't have her, get her of course, but if you already have her, right, and you're looking for dupes upgrade, I would say get it up to +3 and you can just stop right here, right? The damage that she does is going to be inconsequential, right? So it's not that high to the point that you're going to need that. This Celia, basically her role in a magic team generally, right? You put her in the magic team because she's a magic chain stacker. So her role is generally just there to stack chain for you. As you can see, she can hit enemies a lot of times, 7 chains. So you put her before your DPS, go in and do the chains, you apply the amplification with Livia, and then you go in with your DPS, alright, depending on who it is, right? Either, you know, Bunny Loan, or it could be like, you know, any other characters like Yumi, etc. So her role is pretty much just there to try to apply the chain, alright, to stack the chain. Now obviously, I don't think you should go all in. This particular costume is going to be way stronger if you have the Bunny Celia costume, right, or the limited Celia right here. Not this one, right? So this is going to be the one. So limited Celia is going to apply the 1 chain reinforcement to yourself, and that's going to improve her capabilities of the other 2 costumes. So basically, you use them in conjunction, right? So this is going to be how it is. Now, pretty much for all of these characters that their role is to support a little bit or just to amplify the damage, you don't really need to get them up to +5, right? Usually the DPS characters and the support characters are who you want to get up to +5. Now with that, let's talk about the other 3 then, right? Now this other 3 is going to be a little bit more complex, a little bit more complicated. So first up, we got Admiral Sylvia. Now Admiral Sylvia is going to be very interesting because she also has 3 costumes. Alright, I would say out of the 3, this is going to be the strongest costume. This is going to be the one that do the most damage. You can see she attacks 5 times. Alright, and then she does a physical damage right there. Decent hull range as well. So if you get that up to even more, you can see she's going to be able to hit 7 times, which is kind of insane, right? If you potential liberate her. So she is going to act as a main DPS. Now this particular one, the default one, right, the Sword Fortress one, this one applies counter. Counter is cool and all, but ideally, if you guys have been playing Brown Dust 2 for weeks, months, or even years now, you are aware that counter is just not a thing, right? It's just hard for it to be a meta because it requires for the enemy to attack you. So in most cases, it's just harder for you to set up. Ideally, it's better for you to just, you know, buff your characters and your characters go in and destroy the enemy during that particular turn, than to try to set it up for counter, and, you know, it's going to make it for a harder battle generally, right? So in my opinion, I don't really use this as much. It is going to be a decent option. I would say this is the least priority if you ask me in terms of the 3 Sylvia costumes. Now this one is going to act as a buffer to herself. She amplifies herself. You can see your attack is increased by 225% for 6 turns, attacks the enemy 4 times. So usually you want to set it up that you use this particular costume first. Very cheap as well, 1 SP. Now this one is going to be quite good in PvP as well, right? Because it's a 1 SP one. If you're trying to tackle PvP using a physical team, this could be an option, right? For a lot of players, this is going to be an option. Usually use this costume, you go in with the other one right here, right? So this is going to be how you want to use this Sylvia costume. So I do recommend, if you want to get +5, this is going to be a pretty good one as well. As you can see in terms of the stopping point, again +3. All of these older costumes, their SP requirements was at +3, right? +4 is going to increase the damage as well. You can see 67 to 85 and all the way to so from +4 to +5 is just the energy gun. Actually, +4 is going to be the best you need. All right, don't need to go further. The energy guard, you don't really need it as much, right? Unless you really care about that. But +4, just look for the maximum damage. All right, next up we got Helmina, the most recent character. I am a big fan of Helmina. I think she's very cool. However, right, I've tested her and stuff. In comparison to Hikage, they are very similar. Now, if you already got a stacked Hikage, you probably don't need to like rush to get Helmina to +5 that soon. Now, that being said, you can see right here, right? If I were to increase her to +1, is a very good one. All right, very good stopping point. 3 SP, so +2 is just a little bit more damage. +3 is a little bit more damage. Oh wait, +4 is the important one. +4 is going to reduce this to 1 turn cooldown, so she can spam her skill every single turn. Now ideally you want to be able to do this, alright, I would say +4, if you can push a little bit further, right? +1, you know, is going to +4 is probably the priority, right, compared to +1, so that you can spam, especially for those of you who don't have Hikage, this is going to be the best one for you to stop, right? +5, you get a little bit more damage, but I would advise you guys to get at least one, either Helmina or Hikage, because they are very good in basically getting rid of bosses, especially those of you who are stuck in one of the campaign stages, the higher difficulty ones, and there's usually like one boss or one enemy that you cannot get rid of. You just go in with Zenith and Helmina, you destroy them easily, right? Most of the time it is going to be more than enough. Now last but not least, we got Queen of Signatures Michaela. In my opinion, she's probably the best one out of this bunch. I do think that she has most of the most usage for me. Alright, now I'm going to explain why. Tower of Salvation. Alright, this is where you use her a lot. Now she is going to fit in a magic team. Now if you guys are not aware, Tower of Salvation, I haven't done the current season yet, haven't pushed that high, but usually I try to push all the way to at least level 9, sometimes level 10 if I have time. So right now, this current season, I haven't pushed that much yet. So you can see Tower of Salvation is going to give you all of these rewards, right? So Michaela shines right here, pretty much in the end game right here. And the thing is, the key strategy is you gotta know what you do with her or how to use her effectively, right? Essentially, she is going to be way more complex to use. Now, she is going to be strong if you have this other costume right here, right? This is going to complement these other 2 costumes. I do have all 3 of the costume at +4, as you can see. Pretty good stopping point. But right now you can see, right? So this is going to be the one that gives you the most damage, right? +4 to +5 is going to give you that. Even though she has an issue of, you know, taking the SP by 6 points, in Tower of Salvation, you can basically configure her to always move last, so that way that she's going to take like, usually if your character moves last, you only have about 3 SP, 2 to 3 SP, so if you're going to consume 2 SP, you know, it doesn't really matter, right? Even though here it says it's going to take 6 SP, but if your remaining points is 2, it doesn't go to negative. So this debuff doesn't matter or can be circumvented or bypassed pretty much by you putting her last in most situations, right? So it is not as bad as a lot of players think. I do think that this is a very strong costume. Even in particular, if you're trying to do the boss, the last night boss, this is going to be one of the better costumes as well to basically do high score, right? Alongside with the Office Nebrius one and the Luvencia's one. Those are going to be very good. Those three costumes I think are the current top ones. Of course, we got Homunculus later and stuff, but in terms of the recent characters, these are the ones that you can consider. Definitely, if you have this particular costume, alright, the default Michaela, the Nun version, then definitely get this higher. Alright, again, +1 is going to be, you know, the SP requirements reduced by 1, +2, +3 is going to be just pretty much what it is. But yeah, pretty much all the way, just damage from +2 to +3 to +4 to +5. It's just all damage. So if you are looking for more damage, definitely get this. It's a very high damage dealing costume. Now all these three, regardless, if let's say you don't have any, right, and you're looking to pick one, I would say go for Wilhelmina. Alright, I think Wilhelmina, you're gonna have much more usage and you will be able to do a lot more content with her, especially if you don't have Hikage, right? Celia, I feel like most players should reroll for her actually, instead of picking her right here, right? But that's just, you know, since you already passed that, it's probably too late for you to do that right now, right? The truth is, Celia is probably one of the best starting character to reroll in the unlimited reroll, you know, banner, right? But then they are all really good, right? If I have to pick a priority, I probably lean towards the Wilhelmina, followed by Celia, followed by Sylvia, a little bit confusing there, followed by Michaela. Now, why is Michaela the least priority? Because she's probably the most complex character and she only shines in endgame. Now, if you are watching this video, there's a very high chance that you are a new-ish player. So I am going to give an advice based on you being new, right? So if you are going to pick Office Michaela or Queen of Signatures Michaela, there's just going to be a little bit more complexity to use her compared to the other three characters. It's like way simpler to use, right? It's just no denying that, right? Because Michaela has a debuff on the team, alright, which is the -6 SP thing. But all in all, they are all solid characters. You just gotta know which team you are building right now. Obviously, if you are building physical team, you could only go for Sylvia or Wilhelmina, right? If you are building magic team and looking for a DPS, then get this, right? Get Michaela. If you are looking for a magic stack chain debuffer, then get Celia, right? That's pretty much it. I would say just focus on the teams that you have for now, depending on which supporter you have. If you got Liberta, go for physical. If you got, what's the other one, Helena, go for the magic team, right? So that's just pretty much, try to focus on one first, and then you can slowly expand upon that. Alright, so that's going to be it for this particular video. Let me know what you guys think of the 4 choices right here. I would say these are all very good characters. They are all meta. Alright, with the exception of Celia, you probably don't need dupes, but the other ones definitely have to consider them as an option. With that being said, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like. Stay tuned for the collaboration news next week. We're gonna see what is happening then. As per always, have a nice day. Goodbye.